Oh, Lord, you're staring at the ceiling. Good morning. Vince, Mike, how are you doing today? LTX, what's up? First and foremost, we got to get something out of the way. I feel like absolute hell. The only thing we are doing today is making Goo by Frank AF. We're not making our way over to the NG. As it happens, Ray's Art Show, who's in chat, has a bottle of this that I gave him. So he could probably attest to whether or not this works. You remember the bottle of bed adhesive I gave you when you were down this way? Like, what was it? Shit, almost 2 years ago now, wasn't it? Yeah, it's good stuff. So, for legal purposes, we're not going to say that this is Vision Miner Nano polymer adhesive. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, I've been running off of I made some of this Goo bed adhesive. I made this back in 2022. I made 32 ounces of it. At the exact concentration we'll be making it today. I have given Ray's Art Show 4 ounces out of this. I gave my son 4 or 5 ounces out of this. And I've still got probably, what, 12 ounces in here or so. And I run a lot of printers. So what I'm going to make today will probably last me the rest of my natural life. So you do not need to make this much. The issue is that the chemicals are getting exceedingly difficult to get. A certain vendor who's no longer really around used to sell a kit with enough to make what I made for like 20 bucks. Now it costs like $30, $30 or $40 in chemicals. Then you're going to need ISO, stuff like that. Still pennies on the dollar compared to nanopolymer. On my GitHub, there is a forked repository for Frank's Goo. You can find all the instructions there. So yes, there is. Second thing we need to get out of the way this morning is well, that's no bueno. I have pajama pants on. As stated at the beginning, I feel like absolute hell. No, I don't care. No, you cannot buy these pajama pants anymore. No, you cannot have mine. Now that we've gotten that out of the way. Martin, what's up? Havoc. So, the inside of my bucket is a little dirty. I have no idea what on earth my child unit has done to said bucket. So, with that being said, we are going to have to figure that out. Because that's the problem. What I have today is enough to make 5 quarts or 1 1/4 gallons of nanopolymer adhesive. A version of nanopolymer adhesive. Actually, we happen to have the good version of the whatchamacallit, of this. So this is going to be slightly different than the version listed on the GitHub. This is the better version of it. Here's my 10 pint size mason jars that we're going to put this in. Kegel, how's it going? So for expedience sake, we're going to take all these lids off. I need to go get a measuring cup. These have measurements on them, but to say they're not very precise would be an understatement. Well, this is half glue there, Art. Do you mind if I use your real name? Some people don't want their real name out there, but Ray's art show is a lot to say. All right, Dennis. All right, I'm gonna go get a measuring cup. So bear with me. Be right back. Where's that button? There's that button. All right, I'm back. Pop away. There's a link on my there's a repository on my GitHub. It's a forked repository for Frank's goo. You can find it there. I forked it over to my GitHub so I would never lose it, and so I wouldn't have to keep going to try to figure out where it was at. It was getting increasingly difficult to locate it when I would search for it. Yes. On today's episode of Nile Red. So we actually only need one of these 50-gram things. So normally you would do 21 grams of the PVP and 9 grams of this in a 32-ounce bottle of 50% ISO. But due to the way things are, we're going to do it's essentially going to be 10 grams of this, 5 grams of this, and 16 ounces. But first and foremost, let's start measuring. Okay, Maker Viking, how's it going? So we've got distilled water. All right. Yep. And we're going to measure this out. 8 ounces per thing. Now, if you're doing this like this, you can mix one into the water because it's soluble in water, which I think is the PVP, if I'm not mistaken, is soluble in water. Just going off of the name of the other one. You go over to my GitHub. Sign in. We go to my repositories.
This is the future. Evolution.
There's a link.
This is the future.
Oh no, it's the PVP that's the better one, I think. Okay, so PVA, this one in the bag is soluble in water. And then PVP is soluble in alcohol or water. All right, so we're going to do, there's 8 ounces. Another 8 ounces. Put a cup of water in each one of these. Now, also, that does not look equal to the others.
Human error. Evolution. This is the future.
It's kind of chilly out here.
Revolution.
So, in order to get this to mix in better, I'm gonna come over here to the 2.4. I'm gonna go to my bed, set it for 70 degrees Celsius, and let that heat up. Because we're gonna put these bottles in there. John M. Yeah. So, Hector, Dan, if you guys happen to see this, make up some kits for this, right? Because, you know, another vendor used to sell them for 20 bucks. The little kit came with 2 little Ziploc bags of white powder. And you just mix that with a 32-ounce bottle of 50% ISO, shake well, and heat. And you had enough nanopolymer to last you for a decade. The stuff works amazing. Shout out to Frank AF for publishing this. Oh yes, Drunken Sailor, perfect. Yeah, exactly. So me and Steven Marchado went on in half and half on this. So he'll be getting 5 of these. Mike, if you're still here, we meant to make this on Saturday. It didn't happen, but I'll be giving you one of my 5 jars for all the help you've given me. Next time I see you, bud. You'll have to get some more of your printers fixed and built to utilize it, though. Because you have more than you'll know what to do with. So, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a 100 ml bottle from Vision Miner's Nano polymer costs $30. Fun fact for those that are wondering, I think one of these is just the chemical that is Elmer's glue stick. And then the other one's something else. So you're pretty close with a glue stick. It's just that this is way easier to spread in an even layer. All right, and now we have I did take a COVID test this morning. I am negative for COVID. But holy fuck, do I feel like shit. Brad, how's it going? All right, so now we have a little under half a gallon of water. But it's distilled water. Don't fucking drink this. Don't give it to your pets. Distilled water is not safe to drink. Yeah, that's what I do. I take this and then I put it in. I bought a bunch of these. off of Amazon. I think I got like 2 dozen of them for like $10 or something like that. They're 4-ounce dripper bottles. You drink purified water. Don't drink distilled water. Your body needs minerals and stuff like that. Distilled water is going to strip that out of your system. It also pulls all the sodium out of your cells and stuff like that. It'll wreak havoc on you. Do not drink distilled water. All right. That's good. I poured a bunch of water right on top of the wood filler I had curing over here. All right. Now, if I do 10 times 1/2, that's 5 cups. If I do 10 times 1/4, I'm an idiot. All right, here's what we're going to do. Three quarters, put the other quarter in here. Put the 3/4 back in here. This is going to be way easier when you go to do it, I promise you, because you're not going to be making crazy large batches of this. You're just going to need to get your 2 things, measure out, you know, go next door to that guy who's got cars showing up to his house all time of the day and ask him to borrow a scale. And you're going to measure out 9 grams of one and 21 grams of the other. I've got kitchen scales, but I don't trust them to measure out to that small of a measurement. Right, so yeah, so it's only accurate to within a gram. So I could measure out a gram and it'd actually be anywhere between, you know, 0 and 2 grams, and I don't need that. I need to get this pretty dead on. All right. So we're pouring all the other 1/4 of a cup into this big 4-cup measuring cup. Yes, small quantity scales. The gloop guy stole it. That's what happened to my white lab coat. Actually, I used to have lab coats when I was a goldsmith. I never liked those. I preferred aprons. But when I worked at Jared's, you had the option between long white coats and short white coats. I did short white coats when I worked at Jared's, but My other 10 years as a goldsmith at a private jeweler, a family-owned jeweler, I preferred aprons. Nice canvas aprons. I wish I had one some days. Yeah, reloading scale work too. They'll get you down there. Standard deviation on a reloading scale is actually going to be lower, so it'll be more precise, but you pay for that. As a goldsmith, I had scales that would be, I could measure out how many grains of this I had. That's right. I got my Batman pajamas on today because I feel like ass. Came downstairs, went to the restroom, took my meds, made a phone call I needed to make, decided I did not have the energy to walk back upstairs. So I didn't. All right. Where does this say we're at? Dead nuts on 2.5. All right, which one goes into the water? PVA is highly soluble in water. So this is our PVA. Says it's 50 grams. Let's see what the scale says. So we're at 54 grams. Let's see what the empty bag weighs. Oh, 3 grams, so 51. Excellent. Toss this in the trash. Let's get out our acid brush. And let's just give this a little stirry stir. Today's episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. All right. I'll take this over to the 2.4. and apply some heat. Again, for those that weren't here or forgot, we turned the bed on this 2.4 to 70C. Does she? Yeah, man. I'm excited for you. You're going to love that thing. So when you're getting ready to print that, number one, print it in PLA. Number two, let me know which version you want, and I will build out a 3MF file for you. Because certain parts need certain whatever. Nick, that's a fantastic idea. Captain, how's it going? Death Cube, we are cooking up some goo by Frank AF. It is essentially Vision Miner Nano polymer adhesive. Vision Miner uses a slightly different version of, I think they use K40, which I'm pretty sure is what I actually have. For PVP, and then I've got the slightly better version of the PVA as well than what's listed here. No, Fallout 10mm is the medium kit. I'm not sure what Instagoo uses, honestly. Listen, there's nothing new under the sun. Most of your bed adhesives are some formulation of this. Okay? Now I'm doing a slightly different. The mix listed on that GitHub is for a concentrated version of this that you would then dilute down further. I'm just skipping a step and diluting it a little bit further, because if you run it straight at the concentrations he says on that GitHub, you're gonna have a mess. So double the volume of water and whatchamacallit, or just save yourself the time and headache. Get a 32-ounce bottle of 50% ISO and mix 21 grams of PVP and 9 grams of PVA. Yeah, so that's the thing. Anybody that's ever used just glue stick knows that it's extremely difficult to actually get your prints off of like glass beds with that. If you use this on a glass bed, easy. I've used this on bare glass and printed ABS on bare glass with just this adhesive, and it works. Open air. Remember when I told you that the only printer I had working was the CR10 and I needed parts? I printed ABS on a CR10 on a bare glass bed using just this as adhesive. Open air, glass bed, printed, no issues. If that doesn't speak to how well this shit works, I don't know what does. If I can't convince you with that, I can't convince you. I've used this on bare sheet steel. I have a flex plate that it was a smooth PEI flex plate. Smooth PEI is no good. Peeled that off. It's just a spring steel flex plate that I've used this on just to print ABS on bare spring steel with just this. It works. Well, you're going to be set, sir, because I'm like I said, I'm going to give you one of these pint-sized jars of it. I did. I used this actually in my bear traps. I just put out a piece of paper, coat it on both sides, stick one side to the ground, and the other side's face up. Wild bear steps on it, stuck there. Let's see how our stuff is mixing up. Oh God. We've got an issue. We have an issue. This stuff is just stuck all in the bottom. All right, do not follow that instruction. No, you just coagulated down in the bottom. Now I've got to stir this a lot. Crap. No. I do have another bag of it, so if all is lost, we can start over again with this one. It will be much unfortunate because this is the hard one to get. All right, so while I sit here and stir this, yep. Do. Trying to see if this is a lost cause or not. That instruction may be faulty, or it may be because I used a slightly different grade of whatchamacallit that doesn't want to dissolve in water, but who knows. I have no idea. Yeah, I've got 99% ISO here today, but that can be somewhat difficult to get, and it's a lot easier just to mix the two chemicals in 50-50 ISO, 50% ISO, because you avoid this issue. We're getting there. I think we can save it. See, if I was a real chemist, I'd have like a little heater thing with a stir stick, and this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, see, he says he let it sit on there for an hour and it fully dissolved. Maybe I should have left it sit there longer. I don't know. But all right, let's do this. I'm gonna come over here. I'll put this back on the bed to heat up and stir it as I do. Also, he was diluting way less in a greater quantity of water. I could take this in the house, put it on the stove, and heat it. Yeah. All right, my hand's starting to hurt. I'll take a break from stirring for a minute. What do we got going on in chat? Abusing internet privileges. I appreciate you, man. Heisenberg sticky stuff. Yeah, but then your prints end up dyed blue. Otherwise, that would be cool. It's dissolving, so we'll be able to save it. It's just a function of being patient. Don't ever pray for patience, because the Lord will give you an opportunity to develop your patience, right? Oh, God. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. I can't really start prepping the next step, though. Well, I guess I could, but no. So, 1 cup, I would need so if we're doing 2.5 and we're diluting 100 into that, it's what, 40 grams per cup, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're almost there. Let that heat for a minute and we'll start measuring out our ISO. That's right, who needs a hot plate when you got a Voron? I really want one of the plates from DLL PDF for the Micron that goes to 200C. All right, so we're going to get 3/4 of a cup of this. ISO into each one of these. Uh, not making drugs, making bed adhesive. Got some new computer parts, Captain. That's awesome. You prayed for patience. You gave me your daughter. Yeah. See, mistakes were made, right, Kegel? Turkey brine. This is the kind of turkey brine that makes the turkey stick to your ribs, sir. Yeah, here we go. All right. One more. All right. Well, that's all of those. Now this ISO is what we need to mix up the rest of our chemicals in. Just because ISO evaporates so freaking quick, we're going to go ahead and screw these lids on a little bit now. All right, just so that doesn't go missing. All right, let's go back over here and stir up our, which we'll call it again. Oh no. Yeah, we're nearly there. If I let this sit for very long though, it likes all the little bits and bobs like to join together on the bottom. And I want you all to break apart for maximum surface area for dilution purposes. I had a discussion with my daughter the other day in the car because she found, mostly because all the TVs run my YouTube account, because normally I have YouTube Premium. I don't have YouTube Premium at the moment, but normally I do. So nobody has ads when they're watching TV. But she came across Nile Red video where he was making grape soda from a latex glove, and we got into the discussion of why I don't take up doing chemistry stuff in the garage. And I tried to explain to her that some of those chemicals you start ordering, you find yourself on some government watch lists, and sometimes people will show up and start asking questions. And also, some of that stuff can be extremely hazardous to do, and hazardous to your health. You know, the fun ones anyway. And some of those chemicals are extremely expensive. So, in the interest of not blowing up my house, not having the government show up and start asking questions, and not killing the people I love, we don't do chemistry in the garage. That equipment's expensive too. Sit for a minute because my hand is hurting. Marker mops? What? You volunteered for lists? All he wanted to do was buy stamps. Yep. Niall's gotten visits. He's a Canadian. He's gotten visits from U.S. authorities. And Canadian ones. I imagine you're probably going to get away with a lot more in the U.S. than you would in the white wilderness up north. We Americans in general and as a whole take our freedoms a little bit more seriously. All right, we're so close to having this dissolved. Hold on a second. Let me somebody's walking down the hall. I need a little red light for in the hallway so that people know when I'm streaming. I'll just lock the door and then they'll have to knock. That way they'll know. Graffiti markers or the envelope pens. What? I'm so confused. Oh, this is so frustrating. It is so close. Like a dozen little blobs in here still. I mean little too. They're like the size of peas. I remember when I made the other stuff, it took a while to get everything to dissolve into that too. I need a heater out here in the garage. It's awfully chilly. Riveting content today. Riveting. Oh. I could do that. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But no, I need to like put a light switch out here. That way there's a little red light out there so they know I'm streaming. I need some caffeine too. Man, what I wouldn't do for a Monster or Red Bull. I got some coffee. It's some South American blend coffee. But I don't care for it as much as the Sumatran coffee I had previously. It's like Walmart brand. It's their new good something brand for foods. But they've got some quality stuff at a good price. I mean, it's cheaper than Folgers and you get more of it. It's better than like Folgers or Maxwell House. I'll give it that. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if I had some flavored coffee creamer or something. I prefer my coffee black. Yatta, yatta. This is killing me. We're like 99% of the way there, and just that last 1%. But if I don't get it, these jars are not going to be even by any stretch of the imagination. for how much of the stuff is in each one. And I want it to be even. My OCD won't allow it. Another couple minutes, I think. Stephen, we're making our nanopolymer. Better good, yeah. Kickstarter for the snapping turtle is live. How much is that? I'm pretty sure I know how much it's going to be, but just for thank you for the server boost, Howie. Much appreciated. I'd love to get us to the point where we can get one of those cool little server badges. If anybody has Discord Nitro and you have boosts that you're not using, or alternatively, if you happen to be boosting a server that, you know, has more boosts than they could possibly use, consider boosting the ProjectsInDadsGarage server. Oh, hold on one second. Let's see what is... we'll come back and look at this in 1 second. Scroll down so you can kind of get an idea. I'm streaming. What's up?
Can I not come out?
You can. I just didn't want to make sure everybody else knows before you come out. Okay. All right. So
I have my voice pack. It. Come on. No, I don't.
tooling, beta unit shipping, final production in May. Shipping begins in June. 30 extra blades. Oh, extra blades at 30K. CNC blade holder at 40K. Back this project. Pledge without reward. Red edition, green edition for 90, blue edition. Belial, what are you doing to me over here with a Belial edition? Radiant, a purple one, and a regular one. So if you'd like to back their Kickstarter, $64 will get you there. They're looking for a $28,000 goal, and they're set $16,000. Yeah, that's a decent coffee too, man. All right, let's see. Where are we at?
Your M's by one.
I know. What time is it?
Like 12.
Oh. All right. It ain't perfect, but I think we're about as good as we're going to get on this without sitting here for way too long.
I said camera catching lacking with my ugly face like that.
All right, so there we go. Let's get stuff out of the way and start getting mixing. All right. Your girlfriend subbed. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you, Sarah. All right. Now I know this is in a mason jar, but we don't want to drink it. This is not shine. All right, so we've got this all mixed up now. And we need quarter cups. One. Two. Three. Stuff is sticky. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. All right, how much is left now in here? Because we added stuff. About 5 ounces. A little over 4. Be right back. Gonna go get a different measure. I need this little measuring cup. All right. Got my little measuring cup. So we can measure this out. So we need a little under 1/2 ounce for each one. Three. Four. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. All right, there we go. Now, each one of these needs to get 10 grams of this. I need a sheet of paper. I'll be right back.
But enough the
I'm sorry. All right, we got some paper. Close these up for a minute. Because again, alcohol evaporates pretty quickly. All right, so I need 3 pieces of paper.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.
One,
I can almost feel you walking in the
2.
distance, but I know that it's not real.
Let's get some scissors.
If you are right, come and notice how this
We got to measure out 10 gram packets of so that's 8. That's 6. Wait a minute. How many is there? 3. All right.
I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality.
Just need square pieces of paper here. Their Kickstarter is moving. It's up to 17. So for those that don't know, this is a filament cutter, the snapping turtle anyway. That's automated. You don't need to depress it or anything like that. It just sends a cut signal and it cuts. No servo. It's clearly using an electric motor. Again, all the risks of Kickstarter. You're not guaranteed to actually get your product. So back at your own risk kind of thing. Would be nice to have. It would work perfect for adding on to that takeoff tool head I was talking about, putting it on the Trident. All Open up our paper, zero that out. Get this out of the way and start measuring out 10 grams. This is not going to work. This is nowhere near accurate enough. All right, change of plans. Put this back in here. Pour all of our ISO in here. There's 2.5 cups of ISO. Clearly measuring's off somewhere because there's a little bit left in there. Pour this in there. This stuff instantly clumped up. That's great. Get this in here. The volume of powder in this is going to throw stuff off. Trying to get this mostly stirred up. Like I said, if you do this, don't do like I'm doing it. Just start off with a 50% bottle of ISO. Pour your 2 powders in there and be done with it. That's so sticky. All right, so here's my plan, all right? So I'm running out of time because the little one has a doctor's appointment in 20 some minutes at 1 o'clock. Here's the new plan. I'm going to put this as is in these 10 jars. I'm going to then, while I am out, get a container that'll hold all of this liquid. And then once all of these are completely dissolved together, I will dump all of them into one container and then divide them back out. Mix it and divide it back out so that the proportions are all right. That's the plan. All right. So, just get this, fill it up. One. Good Lord, this stuff is sticky. Two. There's these couple clumps in there. And then, by taking all these later and mixing them together, I'll end up with a nice homogeneous mixture where they'll all be the same. Yeah, magnetic stir would be nice. All right. Let's get some of the ISO we've got left. Drop the lid in there. That's great. Put that in there. Get all this that's stuck to the bottom out. And in my measuring cup. Fortunately, oh, that's good. Fortunately, this does dissolve in water, so it'll wash out of my stuff fine. Ah. Yeah. But I'd have to buy all new stuff. Like, you don't want to contaminate this with anything. All right, let's get these couple clumps off of here. Get those in there. Yeah, yeah. Don't get in there, you. I don't want the bristles in there. All right. So that's a gooey mess, but we have 10 bottles of this stuff. Yeah, but then our prints would be dyed, Steven. So we're going to screw these on real nice and tight.
Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
And I will get a bucket that I can mix these in. Since my bucket obviously got God knows what put in it. Or maybe I'll just wash it. It's probably the cheaper option, right? Just wash out my bucket. Put all these in the 2.4. Gonna bring down the bed temp though. 50C. All right. And let this situation just help get everything to dissolve.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution.
Yeah, Big Pickle Drive got some,
This is the future.
but kind of makes the usability of these things difficult.
Evolution.
All right. There we go. We're going to let those soak. I'm going to go get dressed out of my pajama pants so I can take my daughter to her doctor's appointment. An emulsion blender would be nice to have for other things too. I've got a really nice blender that I make smoothies in, but I saw the big half-gallon ones at Walmart, but we needed 5 quarts, five pints each. So a little over a half a gallon each. Though I guess we could have done each of us taking half gallon and then, you know, got Mike his own little jar. Oh, we're back to Drunken Sailor again. Look at that, all the way through. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Have a great rest of your day. Again, reminder, tomorrow night, first episode on the return of the Makers Making podcast. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be some faces you know, I'm sure, because if nothing else, you know my face, right? But there's some folks in chat that'll be over there. There's some other ones. Good roundtable discussion. We're going to talk about stuff out of form next. So, yeah. Have a good one, guys. Later.